Hey guys, welcome to Tax B for ICT June 2021, day 2. Remember, we had finished the tax on A, which is database, and now we are going to be moving to tax B, which is spreadsheet. And also take note that while doing tax A, we had a little problem while inserting data concerning the cars table, but it's like that. You can always have such type of problems, and it was good we had that type of problem so that you can easily detect your problems while doing your relationship. So now we're going to be moving at tax B, which is spreadsheet, and the activity goes thus. This task is based on the workbook named car sales found in the candidate folder. Remember, we had our candidate folder day 2, and we had car sales. So this is the file they're talking about. It says the workbook contains 2 sheets named brokers and sales. So this is my car sales, which I've opened, and it contains 2 sheets, which is brokers and sales. So I have brokers and I have sales. And also take note, if it's that you have a hashtag inside a cell like this, you just need to increase the size of that cell. So this means the cell is too small to contain the data. So the size is too small. So you increase the size and everything is going to be fine. It says open the car sales workbook, which we have opened. Make a copy of the sales sheet and rename the sheet as e-sales. So I'll just put my question paper beside. So let's make a copy of the sales and rename it e-sales. So how do we do that? Place your cursor on the sheet tab, right click on it, right click on the sheet tab, and you see the option move or copy. So I click on move or copy. Then they'll ask me, what do I want to copy or what do I want to move? So I want to make another copy of the sales, right? I tick on create a copy. So I click OK. So you see another copy has come as sales 2, but they want us to rename it as e-sales, right? Most of you might just copy the whole data and create a new tab and create a new sheet and then paste it inside. Yes, it's still okay. So I right click on it and say rename. So I rename it as e-sales. E-sales. Okay, I'm good. The next is copy the data in the cars table from the car sales database and paste it in a new sheet in the cars sales. Rename this sheet as cars. So they want us to copy data from the database which we finished earlier. So inside the database, I have the table called cars, right? So I click at this top left corner and all my data is selected. I right click and I click copy. I select copy. I go back to my Excel file. I add another file, another page. I add another sheet, which is sheet 2. Then I just paste. I paste my data from the cars table, which you have it there. Then they said we need to rename it as cars. So I click rename cars. So I'm done. So I have my 2 sheets, which I just created now, e-sales and the cars sheet. Next is in the e-sales sheet, e-sales, the e-sales sheet, create a new field in column E. So this column E, named unit price. So unit price. So follow the instructions one after the other, right? So I have column E. I've named unit price. Use a lookup function to invoke the unit price from the cars sheet. You can do a manual insertion if you do not know how to use the lookup function, but it will lead to mark reduction. Write down the formula you have used in cell E3 in the line below. Okay. So what do they want us to do? They want us to have the unit price using a function called the lookup function. And how is it done? Or what do they require from us? So they want us to put the unit price for each of this car based on the car code from the cast table. So remember I have my cast table here, which I have the car code and the unit price. So based on this car code, from this e-sales, based on this car code, we have to look up this code inside this bunch of codes which you have here. Then when it matches, it needs to give us the unit price automatically, right? So like A1 is going to look up A1 inside this bunch of codes here. So you have A1, then the result is going to be this unit price. So it goes to the next CD2. You have to look up for CD2 inside here. Once you see CD2, it gives you its unit price. So how do we do that? And the question says you can do this manually, but if you do this manually, you might not earn max. So how do we do that? We have, first of all, you click on the cell which you need to have the unit price. So on your keyboard, I have equal to, I use my lookup. So lookup, what are they asking for? The value, the lookup vector, and the result vector. So which value do I want to look up? I want to look up this value, right? Comma. So you need to take note what separates the first instruction from the second instruction. I have a comma. Yours might be a semicolon. So take note. So I look up B2. So you say lookup vector. My lookup vector is where do I want to look up this AB1, which is B2 from? I want to look it up inside this bunch of codes. I have a comma. The next says the result vector. Once I look it up inside this bunch of codes, what is the result? The result should be the unit price. Then I close my function and I have this, right? So that is the unit price for the car code AB1. So we are used to always dragging this down right up to the bottom, but we see that we have an error which we can fix. Okay, take note that inside this function, I have lookup B2. The cars is from, or the car code is from A2 to A6, while the result vector is from C2 to C6. And remember, we only have this vector here, or we have this bunch of data which we are looking up to, and it remains constant. It doesn't change. And also the unit price remains constant, but Excel has the tendency of doing things automatically. It says, if you are looking up this guy from year to year, and the result is from year to year, so obviously this second guy here will obviously be from looking up from A3 to A7, and the result will obviously be from C3 to C7, right? So if you see here, you have A3 to A7 and C3 to C7. So the next one will be A4 to A8, C4 to C8, just like that till the end. So we need to make in such a way that this A2 to A6 and C2 to C6 is absolute. That means it's constant, it doesn't change. So how do we do that? We need to put a $ at each of these cell reference, right? So I click here, put my $, which is F4. I just click on F4 and it inserts my $ on each of these cell references, F4, click on F4 and I press OK. So it gives me the same price. Now I can pull it down right up to the bottom. So you notice that A2 to A6 is constant, right? It doesn't change. Okay. The next says, first of all, we have to copy this, our data inside our question paper, right? So I have that. And I copy on the space provided below, which is this. So I have, okay, they say let us copy this, the one in cell E3. So this is not what I have in cell E3. So E3 is supposed to, I click on E3. This E1, E2, this E3, so E3. So I need this data. So you copy this data inside your answer sheet. So that's what I have as E3. Okay, create another field in column F named total amount to calculate the total amount sold by each broker. This field gives the product of the quantity and the unit price. Write down the formula you have used in cell F4 in the line below. So I have column F. Let me see. I have in column F total amount. Total amount said it's the product of the quantity and the unit price. So I can use my function called equal to product. I have product of what? The first, which is the quantity, comma, the second, which is the unit price, and I close and I press enter. So I have that amount as the total amount. So I just pull down to the last data. So I have that. And so I need to write down the formula used in cell C4, in F4, sorry, F4. So I have this. This is what I use. I copy it. And it's going to be inside my question paper. The next is, given that each broker is given 5% of the total amount as bonus, calculate the bonus for each broker in column G. So I have in column G, bonus is 5% of the total amount. So write down the formula you have used. So I have equal to, and if I put 5%, Excel will obviously know what I'm trying to do, right? That's 5 divided by 100 times what I want to multiply, which is the total amount, right? And the total amount. So Excel will obviously know what I want to do. So I have that, and also I drag out to the bottom, right? So it multiplies, takes 5% of the total amount. So write down the formula you have used in G5. So I have G5. Yeah, G5, that's 5% times F5. I have that in G5. I had 5% times F5. Some people might see put 5 divided by 100 times F5 or 0.05 times F5. Okay. The next says create a summary table of the total bonus given in table 2 below. So below you have table 2 to be given in the question paper this way. So I have created a summary table for the total bonus given in table 2 below to be given to each broker at the bottom of the e-sales starting at A25. By ordering the table of sales by the broker ID, use an appropriate function to calculate the sum, the total bonus to be received by each broker. Copy the total bonus from your spreadsheet into the table below. So I have the table. This is the table. So they want me to reproduce this table from starting from A25, right? So I know where I can get this broker ID and this broker name, right? I can get that from the brokers table. So I just simply go to the brokers sheet and I copy broker ID and broker name. Copy and go back to my e-sales. E-sales, they say from A25, I paste. So I can increase the size of this cell. The next, after the broker's ID, broker's name, I have total bonus. Total bonus. So I have total bonus, and below it, I have a merge cell after Mbakupol. So I merge A36 and B36. I merge and center and bold. And that's total. That's total. Obviously, I can put the the borders. I select all of the data and I select all borders, right? I have the borders for this little table below it. So what are they asking me to do? So I need to look for the total bonus for each of these brokers, right? So I have broker ID C001. So C001, I have a bonus of this. I look again where the C001, I have a bonus of this, and so on. So I'll just try a rough work here so that if I have my answer, I'll be sure that my answer is correct. So I look for the bonus for C001 and just add. So C001 is here. I have this plus that plus C001. I have 180,000, which is this, and C001. I don't think C001 is present here. So I have 430,000. So I make sure that the formula I'm going to use will give me 430,000 in this first cell, right? So what will I do? Which function can I use? I can use the sum if, right? I'm summing if then condition, right? So I have equal to, I have the sum if. I have sum if. So what are they giving me? Let me just open this f of x. They're asking me the range, right? The range is the range of cells you want to evaluate. So I want to evaluate this cell, right? I want to evaluate these cells, all of these cells, because I know that this ID will appear once or twice in this range of cells. So the criteria, my criteria is I'm looking for this broker ID inside this range of cells, right? I'm looking for this particular broker ID. So I have the criteria. The criteria, since as it's a text, I have that in quotes. So C00, I'll give for C001 first. Looking for C001, then the sum range. So once it sees C0001, what should the sum be for this broker ID? The sum should be the bonus, right? So you get what is there and you match it to the bonus, then you sum it, right? So this is the range of the bonus. So as you can see, it has already done the sum and given me my answer, which I had previously. So I do that and I have this. So you can do it for each of these cells, right? Each of these cells. Let me just go to the next. I have equal to, I still have my sum if. I open this f of x so that it can guide me. The range of cells is still this. Then my criteria, I think this one, this time around will be C002. C002. Then the sum range is all of this. So it's going to pick all the C002 from here and do the sum for each of these. So I have okay, and I have this. So what I'm going to do is, for me to gain more time, I can just copy right from the beginning to the end. No, from the beginning to backup all of that. And obviously, as I explained earlier, you know, our problem with Excel is that Excel wants to do things automatically. It says if this is from A2 to A23, so the next will obviously be from A3 to A24, and so on with this column G. So I just need this to be absolute, right? I need this to be absolute. So I click on that and I press my F4. It's absolute F4, same as G2 to G23. It doesn't change, right? So I have this. So what do I do? I have that. Now everything is 430,000. Why? Because for this second cell, I still have C001, which is still there. This next C001. So it's like a constant too. So what do? I'll just be changing this broker ID. Yes, C002. Yes, C003-ish. Yes, C004, C005, C006, C007, C008, C009, and C010. I have that, right? So these are the bonus for each of these broker ID. So for me to have the total bonus, I do equal to sum, equal to sum of this range of cells from C26 to C35. Use my bracket, then enter. So that is the sum of my bonus. Okay, they said we have to copy each of these bonus, the table they have given us. Right, so we have to copy each of these bonus here. So what do I do? The first bonus here is the first bonus there. So we have to copy each of these bonus in the table that have given us below. So I have my total bonus for each of these brokers. Now they said write down the formula you have used to calculate the total bonus for the following at Collins. Right, I go to my Excel file and I have at Collins. I have my formula up here. So I'm going to write down my formula on my answer booklet. So I have that. The formula I use for Octagon Collins is this. Joseph Kulu. I have Joseph Kulu. I look for Joseph Kulu. Joseph Kulu. Yes, that's Joseph Kulu. Oh, Octagon Collins has been copied. I have Joseph Kulu. I copy the formula I use for Joseph Kulu. I have Joseph Kulu. Now the 7 says insert all borders in the range A1 to G23. So to insert all borders in the range A1, I select A1 to G23. I click on borders and I click on all borders and I have that. So make sure you're working and you are saving, right? So format the range E2 to G23 to 1000 separators and 0 decimal places. So E2 to G23, E2 to G23, I select all the cell range, I right click on it and I click on format cells. So I have this little window which appears. So on the category, I look for number because I need to format numbers. So number of decimal places, I don't have any decimal places. Then I say use 1000 separators, right? So I have that. Make sure you work and you are saving, please. Next, says print the e-sale sheet and you can attach inside your question paper. So we need to print this sheet. So we are done with the Excel, which is tax B. And below you can have the links to the various files because I'm going to upload this file. So you can have the links so you can use it. And also if you have any question, you can comment below. You can still contact us. You can visit our website, gcrevision.com to get more questions. And also you can subscribe to get more videos. And also ask us questions anywhere from our application Kaulo, which you can download on Play Store. Then next, we are going to move into tax theory in the next video, which is web authoring. So our tax theory will be web authoring. Then we are done with GC 2021 ICT Day 2.